It's Margaret here with 60 and Me, and this is the place where women who are aging beautifully come to be inspired. Now, my guest today is Ariane Poole. Ariane is a great friend of 60 and Me. We've been working together with her now for about 5 years, and I just love her attitude to makeup and fat and beauty, and it's wonderful to have her here. She is a celebrity makeup artist. She's been working for many years, really looking at new products and new techniques, and she's got some really cool treasures to share with us today. So welcome, Ariane.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I love being with your community. They are amazing women. Love them.
I love them too. And you know, they do love you because you're very honest and transparent about your own products that you have, but also just technique, how you do stuff in your 60s as opposed to when you were 20.
Absolutely, because when we are 20, we do certain things that make us look older and more mature and more grown up. When we get into our 60s, that's not necessary. Nature's done that for us. Thank you very much. What we want to do is make the best of what we have and make ourselves look amazing for whatever age we are.
And feel amazing too.
And feel amazing, yeah. Well, I think that when you look at yourself in the mirror and you think, oh, I look pretty good, it makes you feel good. It's a reciprocal thing. They work in conjunction with each other. If you look in the mirror and you think, oh my gosh, I look so tired, I need a break, oh my God. Even if you don't feel like that, it suddenly makes you feel like that.
Totally. So look, every time that we have Ariane here to do interviews with us, we ask the community, what's on your mind? You know, what are the topics that you would like to discuss? And so we've got some really good ones today. And we're going to do this as individual videos so you can focus and understand the topic that we're talking about. So somebody asked, in fact, many people asked about blush.
Yes.
Now, we've said it's a great thing to do for older skin, but when do you use blush? How do you apply it? And when do you use bronzer? What's the difference? So, Ariane.
Absolutely. And you know what? That is such a great question because a lot of people, you know, they see that their complexion is losing pigment. Yeah. I mean, it's not really obvious, but it does so gradually. As we grow gray, our skin also loses the pigment. So they've put lots of bronzer on thinking that's going to give them that glow and everything like that. Well, yes, it gives you a hint of color to your skin, but what it doesn't do, it doesn't give that bloom. So really you need to use bronzer with blusher together.
Okay.
Very important. And first of all, let's talk about bronzer because I'll start with the bronzer. Okay. Purposely, I have not put any blusher, bronzer, or anything on my face. So if you have just come onto the video and think, she doesn't look very made up or she doesn't look like she's got a glow going on, that's the reason why.
Okay.
Right. Let's start off. First of all, big myth. People always think, let me grab my thing. People always think that they should use a ginormous brush to apply bronzer. And they've been told so in the past. So they're looking at brushes like this.
Right. Yep, I can see it. Yeah. I can see that.
Use a brush that coats all over your face. Not a good idea. I prefer to use a smaller size brush. So use your favorite blusher brush, obviously not with blusher on it. And the reason why I do that is because you have much more control. With those big brushes that goes into your eyelashes, into your eyebrows, you don't have precise application.
So Ariane, hold on a sec. So you were using an angled brush. I've got this little one here that's actually quite...
That one too.
That's okay. Okay.
That is fine. It's just these ginormous ones where they say use a big brush. Like, we're not using a wall. It's a face. We're not that. None of us have that big of a face. The other thing is that they say put the bronzer where the sun naturally hits. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When I go out in the sun hits my entire face. It doesn't just hit my forehead, my cheekbone, my nose, and my chin. It hits my whole face. So what I like to do is, and I'm going to take my fringe out of the way, so let me move that out of the way.
I love your hair color, by the way. I wish I could do that. It's a great color on you. It's fantastic.
Well, I am thinking, I want to go, I've got a lot of gray going on, and I would love to go gray, but I'm not gray enough to go that gray yet. I'm only, I think, 60% gray or 65%. Anyway, we digress.
We digress. Back to bronzer.
Okay, so choose your favorite bronzer. I'm not saying to use mine, but choose your favorite bronzer. So here I've got a bronzer. I'm going to swirl my brush around in there, tap off the excess because you don't want a load on there. You can tap off the excess on a tissue as well if you prefer. I go around my face like I'm framing my face. Now you see how much more control I have here.
With a small brush.
Yeah. So I always put it around my jawline. Why? Because as we get older, we don't have that beautifully defined jawline that we had when we were younger.
Right.
Some of us, myself, never had a beautifully defined jawline. So I want to put a little bit of bronzer there, so to give myself a little bit of a more defined line. Also, I like to put a little bit here on my neck. Now, the reason why I put a little bit on my neck is because most of us do not walk around in the sun like this, and we do not get any sun here. And we normally put on a factor, and we also put the factor on here.
We get it here, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but we do get it here. So we got that disjointed. It's almost like we've got a white band or a pale band around our neck. Right. So I put a tiny bit of bronzer. I don't go crazy. Then I use the bronzer to accent areas. So I'm going to put a little bit of bronzer here, just to give my face a little bit of an accent. But because I'm using a smaller brush, I have got a lot more control. I am not sweeping it all over my face. I can go in this area here, because with the big brush, you're putting it
all over. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've now applied a bit of bronzer. I've got a little bit more of a healthy sun-kissed look. But what I don't have is a glow to my cheek. So I would reach for a blusher. So I would reach for my favorite kind of blush product like this and put a little bit of blusher on using oops, that's flying all over the place.
So let me ask a question here. So when you put the bronzer on, Ariane, it looked to me, just my looking with it, you actually started with the cheeks a little bit, and then, then you went around your face. So in other words, you put a teeny bit more bronzer on your cheek. Is that true?
Yeah, just to give it a little bit more of a hollow, just to give it a little bit more definition, because you don't want it to have that flatness, because with a bronzer, they tend to put all over, and that's what we've been shown. So when you get shown something, you do it, and it's really
okay.
Then I would just choose a little bit of a cheek color and pop a little bit of that on the apples of my cheek.
Smile.
Yeah, a little smile.
I love that. Is that sunset?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I really love that blush. Yeah, I remember it. I remember you.
Well, I love it because it just gives me that little bit of a lift. It's not too much. But let me just show you a couple of the ones I have in my collection. Just if you don't want to invest in a bronzer and a blush. I mean, if you have your favorite blush and you need to buy a bronzer, by all means. If you have your favorite a bronzer and you want to buy a blush, by all means. But I've done these ones in duos. Like I said, this is not just
nice. Yeah.
This takes the guesswork out of it, because I think it's really important that you just don't have to have too many things going on. But if you are someone that needs to have that, now I've shown you a powder. Let me show you an interesting thing. Let me fix my fringe so I don't look like a
person without a fringe.
Right. So I've just discovered this one by Time Bomb. This is by a lady called Lulu in the UK. It is a really cool thing. If you use it mixed with your fat.
I
would mix it with a mirror.
Okay. I lost you there for a second.
Oh, sorry. Let me say that again. So this is Time Bomb. It's by Lulu. Okay. I would do this and mix it with my tinted primer, my tinted moisturizer, my ultimate face tint or something like that. It looks weird. It looks like it's gray in color.
Yeah, it does.
I'll mix it.
It just changes to your skin color.
It changes
a little bit darker. Yeah.
So this is a liquid bronzer. So you can adapt it. So instead of using a powder, if you're someone that's got a drier skin, you can use that all over. I mean, I could use this here on my forehead and just use it as a bronzer instead of a powder. So if you're someone who doesn't like using powders and prefers to use cream blushers, this is a really great thing. You can use it the same way, or you can use a foundation brush and pop that on, and you could use it like that, putting it on.
Wow, it's really nice. Does it come in blush colors as well?
No, it comes
or just bronzer colors?
Two different bronzer colors, two different colors, a lighter one and a darker one.
Okay.
This is the lighter one, but it looks really great if you put a little squirt of that mixed with a little squirt of your favorite foundation or ultimate face tint or whatever you want to use, and mix it together. You can also apply it over top, which I love. So if you're someone that prefers a liquid, I wanted to show you that option, because
it's a really good option.
A lot of times people think, well, I'm a cream person and I like using liquids. I don't want to use a powder.
Well,
And
Ariane, also, I don't know whether you were going to mention this, but you've actually got this beautiful palette, which you gave to me to try. This is a new palette of yours. And what I love about this palette is, everybody, I'll be Ariane for a minute here. It's got a bronzer color, and then it's got a two blush colors. So there's a peachy color here, and then a pinky color. It's hard to see with this light. So what I would do is take that little bit of the bronzer, just rub it really gently, and put that, like you did, maybe just all around my forehead. And I'm just playing here, but you get the idea. And then I would take, depending on my mood, either the pink or the peach, or mix it.
Yeah.
Mix it together to get a little bit of color, a little bit more color on the cheek. I'm just using technique more than I am the colors, but it's really cool.
I didn't want to say that because I don't want people to think, oh, she's just plugging her own.
No, it's great.
This is really great, but there are other things like the Bobbi Brown shimmer bricks. There's lots of those kind of things out there, but these are really great to give you that glow, because as we get older, too much matte on our skin makes us look older. So my big tips for here: use a smaller brush to apply the bronzer if you're using a powder. Right. If you're going to go for a cream, check out this really cool thing, the one by Time Bomb, because I think that's really a neat.
It sounds very cool.
Yeah, do you know what? Because before I haven't seen very many that are that kind of liquidy consistency that are nice to your skin. A lot of them have a gel-like consistency, and they are drying on the skin. So this was just a real find for me. And so
great.
Just add a color, and you'll look sensational.
And I want to end a session on blusher without talking about my very favorite blusher, which you could use with the bronzer that you've talked about, and that's the NARS Orgasm.
It's such a great color.
This product is, I love it. I really love the color. It's a peachy color, and it's a very popular product. And I think that if you're going to mention blushers, you got to put NARS in the picture with that one.
That is iconic. It's been around for years. It is one of the go-to colors. It's beautiful, and it works beautifully with bronzer. So if you've got your favorite bronzer and you want to get a blush, I love that one.
Okay, so we've done that. I hope that that's helped you. If you had a question about when to use blusher, when to use bronzer, Ariane's told us to use them together. And if you have any questions, put them in the section below, because Ariane loves reading your comments, and she'll come back and give you more advice and guidance. But thank you, Ariane, for this great conversation about bronzers and blushers.
You're very welcome. I hope you all benefit from the information. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ariane. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Our Patreon supporters help us to make a bigger difference in the lives of women over 60 all around the world. They get exclusive videos, live video shows, discounts, and much more. So please look for the link on this page. It is somewhere down here, up there. And join our tribe of women in our 60andMe community who are actually making a big difference in the world, challenging aging stereotypes. So thank you so much for your support.